Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, we got some face of boxing news and some earlier face of boxing news. Let's talk about the early one. Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy himself, right? Got sick and tired of some stuff, you know what I'm saying? So he had to come out and say some stuff about the now, right? The face of boxing, the present face of boxing. Excuse me. Face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez is most of y'all face of boxing and stuff like that. Y'all know I don't agree with that, right? So, hey, it is what it is. But he's the face of boxing. So Oscar De La Hoya and him are not getting along. We've saw that a few times of late, you know. They ain't getting along. Now, Canelo used to promote him, but right now he doesn't promote him anymore, and so they kind of go at it. But here's the deal. Then Oscar De La Hoya can tell you how he really feels about the man. You know, and you could tell earlier that he felt that way, but when you're promoting somebody, you gotta be their hype man, basically. You're basically a hype man getting paid real well to tell people how good this guy is. That's what a promoter is, okay? So it is what it is. We call them liars, we call them this, we call them that, but you gotta understand what their job description is. I gotta make this dude sound good. I gotta make people want to pay to see this dude. So he couldn't tell you what it is. So Oscar De La Hoya then came out in a little clip, said straight up, Canelo Alvarez, you scared of damn David Benavidez. I know you like, well, duh. I mean, duh. Yeah, he's scared of David Benavidez, right? Now, everybody knows that. We know that David Benavidez has been his mandatory for over two years. David Benavidez had the WBC title, lost it on the scales. Then Canelo comes and wants to fight for the title. Canelo's talking right now that he's wants $200 million to fight him. Canelo's also saying that he's gonna rehydrate and weigh 25 pounds more than him, right? Just all kind of reasons. And then he didn't bring nothing to the table. He only beat one champion. That's what he was saying 2 years ago when he had only beat. That's before he beat Caleb Plant, I think, when he had just beat Darrell. So things like that. So Canelo has used all the excuses in the world not to fight David Benavidez, right? So, but I have issue with Oscar De La Hoya's statement. Even though it is, I have issues with it. And my issue is this. Everybody's talking this David Benavidez stuff, right? If you're gonna go in on Canelo, stop just saying he's scared of David Benavidez. Like he ain't been scared of nobody before, and all of a sudden it's David Benavidez and he's scared of him. Right? Like that's never happened before. Like David Benavidez is all that, and Canelo's just scared of him, and he never been scared of nobody before. This behavior that Canelo is doing with Benavidez, he's been doing the whole time, right? Demetrius Andrade is the one he was really scared of, okay? Now, people going to say, well, Benavidez beat him. Yeah, he beat him recently. We're talking 8 years ago. Canelo was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade at 154 pounds. He did not want to fight him, and Demetrius Andrade was calling him out. Now, the champion shouldn't have called the mandatory out. That's what he was doing, calling him out and out of his name, called him the B word and everything, right? Not to mention both of the Charlos had different separate belts also in that division, right? So you think about that. All the belts were taken by one Charlo, Jamal, and Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade gets stripped because he can't get a fight, right? They give it to Liam Smith, then Canelo fights Liam Smith. Not Jamal Charlo, not Jamal Charlo, not Demetrius Andrade, who he was the mandatory for. That's not work. Not fighting Demetrius Andrade, Dave Benavidez is not worse than that. It's not. So I give you one even better. He goes up to a middleweight, Canelo, says, you know what? I want to become undisputed at this weight. So he fights Golovkin, right, and loses, but gets a draw, then wins when it should have been a draw. But whatever. Says he wants to be undisputed. Problem is, the WBO belt has that guy again, Demetrius Andrade. He's offered from the zone because Demetrius Andrade goes and signed for the zone where Canelo and Gennady Golovkin was. He's there. Hey, we can make this fight easier. No sides of the street or nothing. Canelo turns down the fight and $40 million to become undisputed to fight Demetrius Andrade. Again, David Benavidez is not worse than that. You don't want to become middleweight undisputed by fighting Demetrius Andrade? One damn fight left? No, he leaves and goes up there and fights all the Europeans to fight in the super middleweight division. David Benavidez, not fighting David Benavidez, is not worse than that. Then he's calling him a horrible fighter, just like he's calling David Benavidez he can't bring nothing to the table. So my point is, not wanting to fight David Benavidez is not necessarily worse than what he did with Demetrius Andrade or Jamal Charlo, because Jamal Charlo, let's be real, he asked for the franchise title, the new belt that didn't mean nothing, franchise title, instead of fighting his mandatory with Jamal Charlo. And we're wondering why Jamal Charlo right now is in the crazy house. Jamal Charlo fought three interim fights. Then it's like they couldn't do anything else at WBC, so they made up a franchise title so egregious and told Jamal Charlo he can't even fight for that. But Canelo then said Canelo's better than him. Not fighting Dave Benavidez is not really worse than making up a damn belt so Canelo can run. Really, right? Not to mention, he's not fought his WBA regular champion, who has been his mandatory just as long as Dave Benavidez, and David Morrell. So not fighting David Benavidez is not worse than not fighting David Morrell, right? And if David Morrell and David Benavidez fought, we don't know who wins. So they're both awesome. So Canelo is not fighting either one of them. Now, you go up to 175 thinking you something, get beat up bad by Demetrius Bivol, right? Demetrius Bivol said, and then you say, hey, well, it might be a little bit too much weight at 175. I'm going back down to my weight where I'm undisputed. Demetrius Bivol wants to come down there to fight you, and you don't want to do that either. Not fighting Dave Benavidez is not worse than not fighting Demetrius Bivol in a rematch and not wanting to get that back. Do you guys see a pattern here? I see one. Check it out. It's a pattern, right? So fighting Benavidez, and this dude Daaah got some information. Oscar De La Hoya or anybody else. The Porter podcast way talking about Canelo's, don't have to do this and don't have to do that. That's the problem. Everybody has this information. Not fighting David Benavidez ain't worse than all the other stuff Canelo been doing. Got it? Daaah Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.